That's a new one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2024 CR 4842, State of Texas versus Clarence McDaniel. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Daniel Espark, State Tax.
defense?
Marissa Giovanco for Mr. McDaniel.
And are you Clarence McDaniel?
Yes.
All right, you entered a plea in this case on June 27th. To count one, you entered a plea of guilty. State waived count two without objection. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court deferred finding of guilt. According to the plea bargain agreement, state is pleading on count one. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at a cap of 5 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. It will run concurrent with County Court 14, cause number 726688. They're taking in consideration the following County Court 14, cause number 726689, 726690. There's to be restitution payable under County Court cause number 726689 and 726690. The state is silent on your application. All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state,
Yes.
defense?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections, state,
No, no.
defense?
No, Judge, just some clarifications that I'll clarify with witnesses.
All right, you may proceed. State is silent.
Thank you, Judge. Defense calls Katina McDaniel.
All right, Katina McDaniel. Hello. All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Katina McDaniel.
All right,
Can you spell your name for the court reporter?
Yes, it's a C like Charles, Atina.
Thank you, Katina. May I call you Katina?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And how do you know Clarence McDaniel?
He is my oldest son.
Okay. And can you tell the judge how many children you have?
I have 7,
Okay.
and he's number 2.
He's
I'm
the-
sorry, number 3.
Okay.
Yes,
But you did say he's your oldest
the
son.
oldest son. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So it would be fair to say you have daughters that are older than him.
Yes, 2 daughters that are older than him.
Okay. And all of your children, you said 6, are they all living here in San Antonio?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Mhm.
At the time that Clarence picked up this offense, was he living with you?
No, he was not. Yeah, he had his own apartment.
Okay. Who was he living with, to your knowledge?
He was living with his girlfriend.
And tell the judge about Clarence's childhood upbringing.
Clarence had a pretty normal upbringing all the way up until he was 12. That's when he lost his father. For maybe 1 to 2 years after that, we had a little trouble, but I think it was him acting out because of his father's demise. I don't think he ever really fully came to terms with that.
Okay. After his father passed away, did he have any male role models in his life?
Not really, and that's the thing, because a lot of people offered to step up and nobody really did after his dad died.
And what other family do you have living here in San Antonio?
My mom lives here, my dad lives here, and I have 2 sisters that live here.
Okay. And do you have family other places in Texas?
I don't, but he has family that's in Houston.
Okay. Clarence has family in
Yes,
Houston.
yes, he is.
Okay. Who are they?
His other grandmother lives there, and then he's got 6. He's got 2 uncles and 4 aunts that live out there.
Okay.
Mhm.
And how old is Clarence?
Clarence will be 24 this year in December.
Okay. Has he had any adult criminal history, adult convictions that you know of?
No,
Tell the judge what kind of a person Clarence is.
Clarence, he's a lot like his dad. He's real shy. Doesn't talk a lot. Kind of keeps to himself, but I would say he has some of my personality too. He can be smart. I mean, if he applies himself, he could really go places.
Okay. And tell the judge about his girlfriend. What was going on when he got arrested in his life?
Well, the relationship between him and the girlfriend, I don't really feel like it was all that great. I think maybe initially I felt like he got caught up in this due to her demands. I don't know, but I just really feel like that. because he was the only one in the house that was really doing anything. She wasn't working or anything, and then they had took on the extra responsibility of trying to raise her mom's kid. Yeah,
How old was
What do you
her?
mean? I'm sorry, trying to raise her mother's children? What do you mean?
yeah, the daughter took the mother, the girlfriend's mother had a baby, and his girlfriend took responsibility of the baby.
Oh, so it's not his child and it's not the girlfriend's child?
Right.
Okay.
It would be fair to say with the girlfriend's sister.
Right, yeah, she was raising her sister, pretty
Okay.
much, yeah.
And how old was this child? Do you know?
She was young. She maybe was like, when they took possession of her, she was like 2 months, I think. Because I
Brandon-
think CPS had stepped in and the girlfriend offered to take responsibility for the child.
So the girlfriend took placement from CPS
Right,
of an infant.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you feel that was a lot of pressure
I feel like it was.
on Clarence? Let me finish my question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Okay. And you understand we're asking the judge to give Clarence a chance at probation.
Yes.
If Clarence were to get out of jail, where would he live?
He could reside with me, my mother, his grandfather. He's got a choice of places he could go.
And is there an opportunity possibly waiting for him in Houston?
Well, there is an aunt. I think she was one of the ones that submitted a letter that said that she owns a trucking company and she would be willing to give him a chance to come and drive for her company, the Tammy McDaniel.
Okay.
Mhm.
And do you feel that being in custody, or I'm sorry, have you talked to Clarence while he's been in custody?
Oh, yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Okay. And do you feel that he has accepted responsibility for what he did?
Yes,
Do you feel that he is willing and motivated to do treatment or anything the judge asks of him on probation?
I really believe he will.
Are you able to be there and support him if need be through probation?
Oh, yeah, most
And-
definitely.
And anybody else in the family? Does he have any other
Yeah, he's,
people who will
he's
support him?
got support of both my sisters. He's got my brother-in-laws, his grandfather especially will definitely, yeah,
Okay, so he has a big support
a
system.
big support system. Yes.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the judge?
I mean, he's young, he's made some mistakes,
Made some choices.
and I agree with that, yes. And I tell him that all the time, you're an adult, I can't watch over you, but I really feel that if he's given another opportunity, that he will get it correct this time, because he's made a lot of bad decisions, but I think he's finally coming to terms with those decisions. So, and he told me, the last time he talks, he wants to work. He wants to get out, get him a job. He realizes that now the way that the route that he chose was not the best route. So now he's more motivated to go out and work a regular job and make his, contribute to society the way that he should. I haven't had any contact with the ex-girlfriend, but I'm urging him or asking him, I think he should probably do this journey by himself.
All right, any questions? All right, so let's get to the crux of the situation. Here's the problem. He's out selling drugs.
Right.
And in the PSI report, he's saying you were not a good parent. His father wasn't a good parent. That his father went to prison, that you went to jail in 2017, and you all were always arguing and fighting in the house, and he got physical. So let's talk about that, because I'm trying to understand who he is and why is he here before me selling drugs.
Yeah, it did get physical between me and my late husband. I will admit to that. I don't feel like I was a bad parent. I did go to jail for a year. I came back out, got my nursing license, and went to work. So it wasn't like I was just, continuing this cycle. That was 8 years ago.
So I'm like, why is he selling drugs? That's what I'm trying to get to. And I'm trying to understand there is nothing then in his background that suggests that he should be selling drugs.
I agree.
And when people sell drugs, they ruin other people's lives. So why is he selling drugs? And it's not his girlfriend's fault that he's selling drugs. He's not 10 and
Right.
she's giving him instructions. He decided to do this on his own. So the question is why? Even though why is not an element of the offense, why? Because otherwise he should probably go to prison because he's just being a predator on people who have addictions.
I don't really feel like he's a predator because he's never done this type of activity before.
Well,
I mean, if he had a record of this, I would agree with that. But this is the first time that I'm aware of him out here doing such things.
This is the first time he got arrested for it. And he got arrested because they did an undercover sting, I guess, with
Right.
him.
Right.
So he was setting up a buy. And he was doing it through text messaging.
Yeah, and when the attorney presented me with that, I had no idea
Yeah.
that was going on.
So I honestly don't understand why I should give him probation because he's selling drugs and then next thing you know, he's doing an evading arrest. I know people always come before me, they're saying he's young, he can change, but why does change always happen once you're in court as opposed to doing something before? And in the PSI report, I don't know if you've read it, I've read it. It's saying that he would live 2 or 3 days at your house, then go live 2 or 3 days at his girlfriend's house.
I don't even know where the girlfriend lives.
No, what I'm saying is in the PSI report, he said that he would live 2 or 3 days at your house, then he would leave and stay 2 or 3 days at his girlfriend's house.
We stayed with the girlfriend longer than that. The only time he would come,
We,
huh?
when you say we, who is we?
No, I said he would stay.
Yeah, that's what he said. He'd
at
say
the-
he'd
at
stay
the-
there for a
no, I
couple of
said he would
days.
stay that longer than that.
Yeah.
Than 3 or 4 days.
Mhm.
The only time he would come back to my house is whenever they were having disputes.
Mhm.
And it really wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It wasn't no 2 or 3 days. He was with her for a while.
No. I agree that it was over a length of time,
Mhm.
but their relationship was one where he would stay at her house for a few days, then come and stay at yours, then go back and stay at hers for a few days. That's what I've read in the PSI report.
Okay. Well, I'm just acknowledging that is not what it was.
No, I understand.
Mhm.
All right. Any other questions?
Not for this witness, Judge.
Thank you so much for
Oh.
coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Defense calls Clarence McDaniel.
All right, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Clarence McDaniel,
Thank you, Judge. Clarence, tell the judge how old are you?
23.
And I know the judge has already read the PSI, but tell the judge how your dad passing affected you.
Didn't really have a father figure and nobody to look up to when he passed. And I didn't really, I didn't have really a father figure once he left.
Was it hard on you?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell the about your girlfriend that you were with when you got arrested.
It was like any young relationship, it's kind of a little rocky, trying to have stability and take care of a kid. But I did the best I could do.
Okay. And tell the judge how you got custody of a 2-month-old baby.
We had to make sure we had an apartment in the car to somewhere for the baby to live, and then somewhere to get the baby back and forth to.
And Child Protective Services just decided this was a great idea. Okay.
That's my understanding, Judge. Is that what happened? Child Protective Services put the baby with your girlfriend?
Yes,
Okay. And who was all living together?
just me, her, and the baby.
Okay. And how was that? Was it easy having an infant?
It was pretty stressful. It was pretty stressful.
Were you working?
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you working?
I was doing temp agency jobs, really.
Okay. So not consistent, or was it consistent work?
It was sometimes consistent, yeah. Definitely.
I believe you told the pretrial officer this was the only time you had ever attempted at selling drugs. Is that correct?
Yes.
You had never sold drugs to anyone else before this day.
No, ma'am.
And what made you, that's the judge, you heard the judge, that's her question. Why? Why did you decide to sell drugs?
I was really just trying to support my habit, you know what I'm saying, support my youth. I just started using and I was just trying to support my youth.
Were you also trying to get money for the baby or just for your habit?
Mainly just for my habit, but I mean, I still, babies have needs too, so yeah.
Okay. Now, have you been in tell the judge your girlfriend's name.
Tasharia Harper.
Tasharia. Have you been in communication with Tasharia while you've been in custody? When was the last time you talked to her?
I believe on last Sunday.
Okay, so still recently.
Yes.
Okay. Are you planning on still being with Rosario when you get out of jail?
I'm not quite too sure. I don't know really. You know, when you go to jail, you see kind of who there for you and who's not. So I don't know. I probably just try and work and get somewhere to stay by myself really for now.
Okay, where are you planning on living when you get out of jail? If you get out of jail?
Grandma's house.
Your grandma's house. So where does she live?
She lives on the east side where my mom stays.
Here in San Antonio. Okay. And where do you want to look for a job?
I got an opportunity right now with the Buttercrust Corporation,
Okay, what would you be doing for Buttercrust?
loading up trucks and unloading them.
Okay. And I know we've talked about the possibility of driving a truck for your aunt or uncle in Houston. Is that also a possibility you would consider?
Yes, ma'am. I just gotta get my driver's license.
So you would have a job lined up either way.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you've told the judge and the pretrial officer about your drug use. You've been in custody for a while. Are you motivated to stay clean?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you understand that if the judge were to give you probation, she could give you inpatient treatment, outpatient treatment. You'd have to drug test frequently, possibly go to AA or NA classes, all sorts of things. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to do all of those things?
Yes.
Have you ever been on probation before?
Yes, ma'am. One time.
For what kind of a case?
Possession of marijuana.
Misdemeanor case?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been on any sort of felony probation? Do you have anything else you want to tell the judge?
I'm not a distributor. I don't distribute drugs. It was my first time ever trying to do that, and I was just trying to support my habit, trying to say.
I'm sorry, one more question. I think the PSI says something about you think that they thought you could have made better choices. Who were you talking about when you said they?
The people that was affected by my actions.
Okay, what about you? Do you think you could have made better choices?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions. And it stayed silent, do they?
They're allowed to present questions if it's regarding facts.
Yes.
On the date of your arrest, you were by yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
Your girlfriend wasn't involved in this.
No, sir.
And then you were in possession of 130 fentanyl pills.
No.
Well, the police report says that S1 advised me that he was trying to sell 130 fentanyl pills.
The one I seen said 100. The police report I read said 100.
Nothing to say.
All right. So I'm assuming in your thought process, you had to get pills from somewhere to be able to sell them, or did you make them in a lab?
I don't make drugs.
So you had to get them from somewhere.
Found them when I was walking to the store.
Oh, you're saying you just found them on the ground?
Yes, ma'am. Like somebody dropped them and I found them.
Oh, then how did you know they were fentanyl?
Searched up what was on them on my phone, and they didn't come back for 15 pills.
All right, so you're saying somebody just dropped fentanyl pills on the ground. That's your story.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else?
Just argument, Judge.
All right, court will hear argument.
Judge, Mr. McDaniel is 23 years old. He has very limited criminal history. I understand this is a very serious offense. However, he is highly motivated to do anything and everything on probation if given the opportunity. And this isn't a case of a hardened drug dealer, of a person who, you know, has been selling for years and years. This is a new user, a new dealer. Unfortunately, the first time he's selling, he sells to an undercover cop, and he deserves a chance to show that he can change. He deserves a chance at rehabilitation. He deserves a chance to turn his life around. And that's all we're asking for.
All right. The court is going to find you guilty. Court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with County Court 14, cause number 726688. Take in consideration County Court cause number 7266689, 7266690, 2024 CR 4841. And the complainant is saying that she wants her deductible for the vehicle that he hit.
Yes.
And that is in,
500.
yes, $500. And let me see which clause number that is in. All right. There's to be restitution of $500 to Roxanne Pereira. And cause number 7266689. With regards to Escalante Javier, the court does not have any restitution in the PSI report, so the court is not ordering restitution in that. Court will note that this PSI has been pending since July, so person would have had time to give restitution, a proposed restitution amount. All right. And I'll order the therapeutic community. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney, and I'll retain jurisdiction.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.